Good evening. Good evening to the live people. Good evening to those of you that are watching as a video. So for tonight's live stream, well, we've got a lot to talk about. Yeah, this is the July psychic forecast. This is also the full moon forecast because that's happening on the 3rd. So I have my notes here. Many of you will have very profound spiritual experiences this month. So we're going to talk about that and why that's true. And so we're here to assist you through this process. The earth is changing so much, so rapidly these days. Let me get my microphone. A little close. Sorry about that. I've been talking like all day today, doing readings and stuff. So many of you are going to have very profound spiritual experiences, spiritual awakenings this month. And so we do the July forecast, the full moon forecast. We've got channel messages. So I have 2 pages of automatic writing from the master teachers about information for us. Then I have like a page on the astrology, numerology, the psychic forecast, recommended practices for the month. And I have divination cards also. So we're going to ask Spirit to assist us. I'll pull some divination cards to give us further messages. And by the time this live stream is over, you're going to have a really good idea about the energies this month, what's going on, and what to do to prepare and what to do to get the most out of it. It's challenging, but it's a beautiful time. We should be happy to be here. So I'm going to clear my throat again. That's better. I think that's better. If not, you're going to have to deal with me with a horse sore throat, not sore, but a horse throat. This Sunday, by the way, it's 7 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to do some energy, some frequency channeling with the master teachers. So the full moon is actually Monday, kind of early-ish in the day, but we're going to do the full moon activation Sunday night. It's within 24 hours of the full moon. So just to say a few quick hellos and let the live people get their notifications to come on, and then we're going to dive into this. Like I said, there's a lot to talk about. I mean, you guys that know me well enough know when the glasses are on, Adam means business. So, hey, Carrie Sue. Hi, Janae. Wildfire smoke. Yeah. I'm sure that's part of it. It's bad. And hi, Angela. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Tom or Tom. And hi, Shelly, Peggy, and Susan, and Sarah, and Chris is back, and Suzette. Hi, Iman, and MT, and Jody. So far, that's it. And if you're new, and hi, Nikki. I just saw you pop on an MT. So if you guys, anybody that's new, and you want to introduce yourselves, we are a community here. We're working together to spread the light, to share the light, and to be conduits, to be channels and teachers. Hi, Anastasia. Welcome. I see there's a few new people, although some of the new people I've known from doing readings with and work with in the past. So, again, apologies. Like Janae, aptly pointed out, we've been breathing in, toxic smoke again the last 2.5 days. I've been doing a lot of readings and a lot of work, so my voice is a little bit shot. So I'll do the best that we can here. Hi, Patricia. Okay, so hi. So I've been on 4 minutes. Usually takes about 3 to 4 minutes for the live people to get their notifications. That's happened already. So we're going to just get started. So I'm going to start out with what came through in channeling. Just, this morning before I started my sessions, I went into channeling mode. Wrote out 2 pages, took all of a few minutes. Yeah, thank you for that. This is confirmed. Yeah, people in Chicago are smelling chemicals. Not that I have any opinions or know anything, but circumstantially speaking, trains have derailed at a far higher rate than would naturally happen, especially with today's technology. Many of these train derailments had chemicals. Some of these chemicals went missing. We've had orange smoke. Now, I've been talking to people from California And I have to sort of amend something that I said earlier to you guys, that the orange smoke has to be chemicals, because they were saying even out there when there were fires, sometimes the smoke was brown and orange. So that said, I stand corrected on that point, but every other point certainly, points to a rat. It certainly smells like a rat. And what else? And not to mention that on the 25th, they started spraying New York City, what's called Gotham. Wonderful. Yes. So we have a lot of this going on. This is all kind of interwoven into the year. I mean, not the year, the month forecast. And every now and then I'll get specific psychic predictions. I mean, not all of them hit, but a high percentage of them do. Mostly what I'm doing is providing kind of an energy forecast, giving you guys some knowledge of what the energies are going to be like, what some of the maybe broader events that I see going on, maybe a couple of specific things, but it's mostly to help us to prepare for the ride of our lives. And it's all about a global awakening. It's all about a process. It's overthrowing those forces that have been ruling the world for far too long, that have shown very little regard for human life, I might add. So, hi, Claire. Welcome to you, too. All right, so here's what I got for automatic writing. And again, I apologize for my voice being off. Maybe it's the smoke, like Janae said. All right. Gosh. Well, I have water for a reason. Okay, so here's what came through. Ready, set, go. Are we ready? This is a beautiful opportunity for your personal awakening, collective awakenings, dear one. We see your planet reconfiguring this month, literally changing its physical shape. This is a time of reset following the powerful full moon portal that will lead to a lot of energetic purging. Those who resist will not have an easy time. Should I repeat that? Those that resist will not have an easy time. So we must not resist, right? You must go with the flow and allow, dear ones. There will be physical symptoms for some, but understand as your planet reconfigures, your bodies change. You purge, you prepare for the next big surge of awakening. This energy will begin to clear the ills of your world in the next second half of this month. Systems will fail. I can't even read my writing. Something about deceit, lies, deceits will be exposed. Join hands, dear ones, and pool smoke. Pool your energies and resources. This is the true foundation of spiritual community. Collectively, you are strong. There must be willingness to let go of the old, embrace the new energies, the new gifts for us. As Sirius begins to beam his light upon your morning skies, the Lion Gates portal opens you to new possibilities, new gifts, new ascensions. This is your time for the final purging before the cosmic gateway takes you to the higher dimensional realities. For those who have attuned their energies and have purged the negative programming, this is a glorious time in your planetary evolution, but it will require strength. It will require mental discipline, spiritual discipline. Call on us, Spirit, the master teachers, the angels, whoever us is to you. Call on us for assistance and guidance. Work with us in our energy transmissions. That's us, the master teachers. We are here for you to assist you through the biggest awakening in your the biggest collective awakening in the past 40,000 years, the master teachers. I wrote the MTs down below here. So let me dive into a little bit of water. Okay, so firstly, this month gets off right off the bat with a very powerful super moon, full moon. I mean, super moons just means that the moon's close to its perigee, or its closest point in its elliptical orbit around the Earth. So the full moon's going to be at 11 degrees Capricorn on July the 3rd. I didn't write the time down. I thought I did, but actually I did. I have different notes, but it's 7:39 a.m. here Eastern time. So everywhere east of the Hawaiian Islands, that is, it's going to be on the 3rd. Places west of there, but east of the international date line, it's actually the 2nd. So most of the globe, it's July the 3rd. Now, July 22nd to 23rd, Jupiter and Mercury square. Venus goes retrograde. Jupiter and Mercury square around the new moon. So the new moon's at 24 degrees Cancer. So the full moon, 11 degrees is the, in Chaldean numerology, is the lion's muzzle with clenched fists. So the number 11, it's the spiritual doorway, the spiritual portal, but it's also about strength, like dominion over the lower forces, the lower ego, the lower collective, and all that stuff. So we're getting, and Capricorn is all about discipline. It's about ground. It's Saturn ruled. And there's a lot of Saturn energy. There's a lot of Uranus energy that's happening. Now, June, as predicted by yours truly, was a very, dicey, very, very changeable month full of surprises. I think this is a warm up for what's happening in July. Now, don't take this as doom and gloom, but be ready for more changes. Okay, I said that. So the new moon happens at 24 degrees Cancer. That's about accountability. So there's going to be a lot of, people needing to be accountable for what they're doing. That can happen on a personal level, on a community level, on a global level, the politicians, everything like that. Now, Venus goes retrograde on the 22nd to the 23rd at 28 degrees Leo. So Venus is in Leo for a good long time. Venus is pretty happy in the sign of Leo. It's maybe not its favorite sign, but it's pretty happy in that sign. So that's a good thing, and that's really helping to cultivate our strength and our will. So that's a good thing. Mars goes into Virgo. I didn't write the date down, but it goes into Virgo this month. I don't know why I didn't write the date down. I think it's around mid-month. And when Mars goes into Virgo, it gets a little bit cautious. It gets a little bit more discerning, but it places a lot of energy into healing, into diplomacy, into communication, into getting the job done, and stuff like that. So that's really, Mars is happier in the sign Leo, but in the sign Virgo, again, it's a little bit at odds, but it can work. And July 18th and the 19th, the nodes shift. So the lunar nodes have been in the Taurus Scorpio stellium. They're going to shift into the Libra Aries, and then Saturn, Pluto, and Neptune are all retrograde, and then Venus is going to go retrograde also this month. So they're going to have a lot of retrograde. Now, it's also a universal 14-month in numerology that reduces to 5. 5 is Mercury ruled. 5 is about freedom. It's about change. It's about communication. Things happen very quickly and very suddenly. And like I said, because Uranus is still very active, lots of surprises, lots of sudden changes this month. Communication, sudden changes highlighted. Uranus remained very active, more surprises. June is a warm-up to an overhaul in global affairs, or June was. Actually, I think I should have said July is a warm-up to an overhaul in global affairs. So we're going to really start to see those changes start to really take shape. We've been kind of teetering on that for a good while now. There's been some noise, some movement, but I think this is going to go into the next level this month. Communication and healing are paramount. More shocking news, more information leaks out. Political division comes to a head. So, things may get a little bit ugly. All right. So most months I do a separate full moon forecast and then a beginning of the month forecast. But this month and in August, the full moon's going to be right on the 1st. So we're kind of combining forces here, just making the one live stream a little bit longer. So let me turn the pings off. Full moon July 3rd at 7:39 a.m. It's Capricorn, very Capricorn. I wrote down partly because of the Saturn, element, And it's also happening on a universal 8-day in numerology. So July the 3rd is 8. 8 is also Saturn ruled, and Capricorn Saturn rules. That's why I wrote very Capricorn. And of course, it said 11 degrees Capricorn. Again, that 11 degrees adds will, strength, and spirituality to the mix. So Venus and Uranus are squaring during this full moon. Uranus and Venus, that's an interesting square because Venus really aligns with the heart and with love and connection. And Uranus is very social also, but it tries to change everything. I have a feeling some of you are going to really start to delve into some new relationship energy with somebody you wouldn't really think would be like your relationship material, if that makes sense. In other words, like you may be seeing beyond like the person's appearance or personality or their age, or in a few cases maybe even their gender, whatever it is. And that Venus squaring Uranus has a tendency to do things like that. It kind of takes you outside of the box. It takes you out of your own limitations, and Venus being the planet of love. So there may be somebody that you feel some draw to, but you don't feel like it's the right situation, the right circumstances, or whatever. But Spirit's asking you to take a second look at that person, basically. Now, think that I wrote down about this full moon. Discipline is key. Use this energy to overcome addictions. That's not just drugs. That's behaviors. That's thought addiction. I personally have a lot of thought addictions and emotional addictions that I'm really addressing now in my spiritual awakening. Patterns, ways of seeing things, ways of reacting to our environment. As Joe Dispenza says, we want to observe our reactions, not be our reactions, because the way we react to the environment is programmed into us by society. So when we step back and observe that, then we're observing the program in action. We're not the program in that moment. And then awareness comes in, and when there's awareness, that's the seeds of change. So awareness is always the first. This is to heal the past, to stay empowered. This full moon is good to formulate sound plans for personal success. That has a lot to do with that Capricorn, that Saturn energy. Very good for grounding and for planning. To get more grounded and centered, apply balance. Take some time off. I'm taking time off. Some of you, I'm taking time off from doing readings. I'm still going to be very active in creating courses and on YouTube, but still, changes of diet, changes of patterns, enhance your health. This full moon energy is beckoning us to do all of this stuff. This moon will challenge world politics. Great, right? Politics, finances, and the systems of control around the world. Chaos and global affairs may follow. So that may be more of an August, September thing, but keep an eye on that. So moving right along. So for you guys that jumped in a little bit late, you know where to go to catch the beginning. Hi, Carissa. Hi, Suzette. Hi, Carissa again. Hi, TN. And hi again, Tom, and hi, Claire again. All right. So here's the psychic forecast, and I have everything in little stars here. Unusual weather. Okay. Do we need to be psychic to know that? No, we don't. However, natural phenomena, for what I'm sensing anyways, it's going to hit an all-time high. So I think this is going to be like a one for the record books this month, things that we haven't really seen before. Now, it's just popping up in my mind, because somebody mentioned about the fires, and we're breathing that air in again. And they are measuring chemicals that shouldn't be in forests in these fires. Things are leaking out. But anyways, I'll get to that in a minute. Oh, that's actually my next point. Fires remain an issue. And there's lots of pointing and points of scrutiny that come up with that. Now, I saw the stories break out, then I saw them get buried like the next day. Because a lot of people are saying, how does 200 fires start in one afternoon in Eastern Canada? And, from what I understand, they're blaming global warming on this. So I actually do believe in global warming. However, not the way that the picture that they paint of it. So I think it's something that's exacerbated, it's exploited for a specific agenda. And it's always, when you want to figure out what the global agendas are, follow the money, follow the corrupt flow of power, and you'll have a pretty good idea. Why would they want to scare us about global warming and accelerate this process? Because they want everybody to be scared, frightened, point fingers, and look to Big Brother for the answers. Basically, they're going to save us. We have to fall in line. Basically, there's probably more to that story, but to oversimplify this. All right, so I'm seeing this image of Trumping, Donald Trump, the ex-president, which I would not be in the least bit shocked, indictments and all, if he also became the next president. But we'll deal with that as it comes up. I know to some of you that's great news. To some of you, it's like the worst thing that could happen. What a perfect figure to polarize the whole planet, not just the country. That's why I don't think he's going to get arrested, because, and if he does, they're going to still allow him to be vocal, or still allow him to be anyway. But I'm seeing him being airlifted, and I think there's going to be some death threats on him or other acts of violence threatened. Would that surprise anybody? Probably not. Southeast states are especially vulnerable to flooding, severe weather, and stuff like that. But take your pick. As I'm saying that, I'm also seeing the upper Midwest. I understand there's a terrible derecho there the other day, 90-mile-an-hour winds. Derechos next to tornadoes are probably the most dangerous of the severe weather. Tornadoes, microbursts, and derechos, which is basically just a cluster of thunderstorms that self-sustains itself over hundreds of miles that are very severe. So a female candidate gets support. Could that be Marianne Williamson, who is basically the modern curator of the Course in Miracles? I think I would like that. I don't know what you guys think, but you're welcome to say that. But I think one of the female candidates it's going to gain a lot of support. So lots of upgrades and acceleration around AI. That's already happening. That was part of the June forecast also. Transhumanism experiments. That's an ongoing thing. Lots of conflicting news stories. Big surprises there. I don't know if I'm telling you guys anything you don't already know, but in any event, as truth surfaces, lots of conflicting news stories. So, it's everything kind of shaken loose and things are bubbling to the surface. That's going to just pick up steam July, August, September. It's just going to pick up a lot of steam. New COVID variants to scare the wits out of people, or new virus. Has that already been announced? I wouldn't be surprised if it has. I haven't really been keeping up with news too much. Calls to action. Activists may gather, I can't read my writing, and sponsors to raise social awareness. Walking, like I'm seeing like more of like activists gathering sponsors for some events, like walking cross country or sailing through the 7 seas to try to bring awareness to some of the problems or some of the issues. So I think in general that there's increase of activism that's going on. Now, there has been a lot of that. There has been riots. There has been a lot of that going on. It just does not really make it into mainstream news for some reason. I guess you guys might figure out what that is. So mid to later month, renewed threat of bank shutdowns or stock market crashes. So keep an eye on money. Precious metals are really the investment that can stand the test of time. In general, a financial reset begins that can begin to stabilize money and securities. But plans come under a lot of resistance also. So there's a lot of ups and downs with money markets and stuff like that. I think mid to later month that's going to really be more of a thing, so to speak. There's more. There's quite a few more issued around school. Possible threats of closures. Perhaps that's in lieu of violence and stuff like that. Unfortunately. But I think that there's something going on with the educational system that we may hear about. As I'm saying that, I feel like Spirit's saying only in some states, not all states. UFOs continue to make headlines. Some of it's an agenda. the War of the Worlds agenda. I think there's another name for it, but create a fictitious event from somewhere up there or out there. And then that's another way to centralize power, centralize governments, and get people to fall in line, and all that stuff. And of course, community is great. I mean, I would love personally to see the borders between countries soften, that we recognize that we're one people, we're one community. However, what their way of doing this is turning over power to one central force. Not the people are the government, but rather rulership over the people. That's a completely different thing. That's not communityism. I mean, I guess you could say that's communism, which comes from the word community, ironically enough. But in any event, more and more people discover their extraterrestrial guides or have experience with real extraterrestrials. And by the way, if you didn't see the upload that we uploaded last night, that's all about how to activate your extraterrestrial DNA, your starseed DNA. So we've been doing more of those types of videos, basically because I look at the numbers, I look at my metrics, and that's what you guys want. So I'm doing more of that, based on my average view duration, my average views, and all that. Gives me a good idea of what my audience is looking for. So we've increased the that information of all the spiritual topics we cover here. So more and more of you are starting to see, feel, sense, and get messages from the extraterrestrials. Now, discipline for us personally runs very high, so this is a good thing. Time for us to get the job done, whatever that means, to advance professionally, to go that extra yard. If you have a business or a profession where you're looking for advancement, it's time to really push for that this month. Financially, also, I said, and to test the waters on new ideas. So thinking outside the box, we got to think outside the box. If that box is old, it's falling apart. The analogy and the metaphor I often use, that society's been built on a house of cards. There's a big gust of wind getting ready to blow that house of cards down. It's going to be rebuilt on a concrete foundation. And that foundation is the foundation of love, the only true force in the universe that connects people and binds people in a true way. Fear can do it temporarily, but it's going to run its course. Love is permanent. So remember that also. Spiritual growth and awakening spikes this month. We talked about that as well. Hi, Casey. Welcome, poet. Spiritual revolution. Trump was the chosen one. So Susan saying Trump will be president in 24. The public will find out how amazing this man has been. So thank you for that input. Spiritual growth, awakening spikes. Some will have spontaneous, miraculous healings. I often talk about a couple of my miraculous healings. One was spontaneous, one was through mind over matter and applied discipline over 3 years to heal something that doctors couldn't heal, nor could Reiki, nor could diet, nor could acupuncture, nor could homeopathy, nor could thousands of dollars on natural cures heal it. My mind could. That was a huge lesson to me. So anyhow, powerful portal begins the month. So we're entering this month with a huge portal. Portals are gateways to higher consciousness and higher reality. There's always natural portals opening and closing. There's Earth portals based on the Earth's rotation, like the Lion's Gate is a very famous portal. But then there's portals that come up that more through the lunar effects, more through consciousness, more through the central sun, and activating the physical sun. So there's solar portals that open up also. So this is a powerful portal that begins the month that will shift your perspective and change your life more than has ever happened. So the idea is to meditate more, work on presence more, work on being in the heart more, heart-brain coherence. Not a single live stream will go by that I won't say the words heart-brain coherence to you guys. Big letting go energy. Friendships and partners can end. That's been an ongoing theme. It's going to continue. Lots of squaring off between different ideals, increase in violence, demonstrations, etc. Unfortunately, things need to be a little dicey in order to overcome those oppressive forces that have held humanity at bay for a very, very long time. It had been putting a cap on our ability to awaken. Of course, some people awaken anyways, despite that. But I think you understand that a lot will be exposed and continue to be exposed. COVID being more exposed, the fires, Ukraine, and the big lies and secrets behind the wars, all that, behind China, behind the trafficking. We were speaking on this in June, how we were saying that there's some information that comes out, but I think July, I think that was part of the June forecast. I mean, I can't remember that far back, but we were talking about July being a big month for things like that to be exposed. There's definitely more, and I could probably go on, and I just ask if Spirit has anything to input. They're just saying more fires probably being set in different places. So be mindful of that. The Earth, because it's reconfiguring now, and it's literally changing its shape. Now, it may only change its shape by an inch or two, so nobody would notice it, but it affects the geology. It creates more stress in the tectonic plates and all that stuff. So I think, between July and into August, I think there's going to be a really big earthquake somewhere, and then a couple of smaller earthquakes, I want to say. And they're showing me the sun also. So I think there's going to be a lot of solar activity. That may be good. I haven't seen the Northern Lights for a good while here in the Catskill Mountains. That would be good. And solar activity, though, can be very disruptive. It's also codes. So from the sun, Spirit through the central sun emits codes. It's like sacred geometry, or based on the patterning of the solar events, as it were. And these activate our personal DNA codes to help to trigger further awakening. So I think that's going to be increasing this month also. So I have some exercises to do as well. And they were saying doing any and all letting go exercises. So I know that's not super specific, but remember, you can't let go of what you do not first embrace. So that's the key. And a lot of spiritual teachers talk about letting go, but it's virtually, if not literally, impossible to let something go unless you come to terms with it, embrace it with gratitude and love. And then once you embrace it and become one with that, whatever it is that you're trying to let go of, then it becomes much easier because you've learned the lesson, you've grown, and you don't need whatever it is. Usually it's our own patterns, our own subconscious patterns, because everything that we feel, everything that we think, everything that we are, everything that we believe, our programming, our spirituality, our past lives, all that stuff is a frequency and a vibration. And our physical universe is set up to be the perfect teacher. So what we hold as vibration, we create that in our reality. It happens personally on a personal level. It also happens on a collective level as well. So when you start to change your emotional patterns, your reaction, when you start to address the programming and change that, that's when your life changes. The affirmation and law of attraction techniques that people do and teach are wonderful, but they're not going to work until you change that underlying program, until you change your frequency. Now, affirmations and those techniques can be used for that also. So definitely do that as well. So they were also saying exercise and diet. Your bodies need to be strong to withstand the pressure, withstand the vibrational shifts, and ascend to the higher frequencies, as well as to withstand all the pressures of society and all that they're trying to do to us. Remember, when you're in your heart, when you're in the heart frequency, you're protected. That's the eye of the storm. When people talk about being in the eye of the storm, to me, that means being in your heart. So when hearts are coherent, you're feeling love and gratitude. Do that every day. I do it 3 times a day for about 10 minutes, or sometimes it's not 3 times a day, but sometimes it's more. And when things are really not going well, or you're going through a tough time, or you're in a bad mood, that's where that mental discipline that's running high this month comes in. Because do it anyway. I mean, there's many a day where I sit down and it's like the last thing I want to do is to feel grateful, because I'm just not in a good mood for one reason or another. But once I start, and once the heart frequencies start to kick in, it all starts to dissolve away. And if I can stay in that discipline and really expand my heart frequencies, gratitude and compassion, and then feel my brain and my heart sinking, that's when the magic begins. I have this head rush. It's like a DMT release. So last night I was doing this, and I was seeing like it looked like sperm, like millions of sperms, like just swimming by me. It was like a really cool vision. And so when we have DMT releases, it's a gamma experience, and we start to experience energy, like it's hallucinations, but it's not. It's really like other perceptions or things that are coming onto your mind. So the next thing they were saying, okay, we got that. Purging, fasting, yoga. So cleansing. This is an important month for cleansing and clearing. They're saying especially to do inverted postures for some reason. I know inverted postures can be cleansing also. This is, I didn't get that. See, I didn't know about that. So maybe I was just picking up on that psychically, Susan. Interesting. I just caught that comment. Purging, fasting, yoga, especially the inverted postures. Now, if you have high blood pressure or medical issues, consult with your doctor or your healer before doing inverted postures. But if you can, to do them. This month features glandular reset in response to the 7-3 to 7-7 portal. I think I wrote that down, but I think the portal already opened for this period. So glandular resets are happening. When our glands reset, sometimes we feel a little bit off because our hormones change, and but it's an elevation. So sometimes it takes some getting used to. So this month features glandular resets in response to the portals and higher solar/gamma radiation, increasing the frequencies on the planet. So again, it's been a process. It's going to continue. It's probably going to spike. It's important to not be stagnant this month. So make sure you're working out, whatever that means to you. If any of you here are like in a wheelchair, you can walk or whatever, but you can use your hands, do some exercises with your hand. But for the rest of us, at least take walks regularly, at least do something to not stagnate. We need to keep the energies moving and flowing. And I feel like they're saying when we stagnate, then we become much more vulnerable to the negativity and the negative energies. They are unleashing a lot of energy into the collective consciousness. Some of them may be perceived as things like negative spirits, demons, all that kind of stuff. But if we don't stay stagnant, if we keep moving and we keep our vibrations high and stay in the heart, stay in the eye of the storm, none of that stuff is going to affect you and reach you. It's only the emotions that make us magnetic to these negative entities, fear, guilt, and all that stuff, anger. It's that frequency that attracts them. If we can stay, I'll put it this way, the more we can stay in love, gratitude, compassion, and those high vibrational emotions, the more resistant we are to any negative entities, any negative programming, and all that kind of stuff. And as always, practice presence, be in nature, feel the flows. Technology and all this stuff can tear down our energy fields, but all it takes is a little bit of breathing to bring energy through you, to help to restore you. And it's especially powerful out in nature. And I think it was last month or one of these months they're directing me to do this month also, is as you go out into nature, and if you're in one of the cities, you can go to one of the parks. Even on the street, there's nature. There's pigeons, there's rats. I mean, there's nature everywhere. There's air, even if it's smoke filled, there's still air. But the thing is to get present, be in your heart, and then just walk around and set the intention to find the portals. There's natural energy portals in nature. Now, before there were telephones, we're going back to Native American days here in this country. There were portals known as wind tunnels, and when they found that, they could communicate with people 100 miles away, like they were talking on the telephone, basically. So all of these networks of energies and frequencies exist in this planet. There's so much more that goes on than what we're able to see and perceive with our five senses. I mean, it's really a miraculous world and a miraculous universe that we live in. And once we start to transcend the five senses, then we start to open up our spiritual senses. Then we start to sense and feel these things more, and we can start to utilize that. So I could be feeling really down. I can go, I'm fortunate in that I live state land all around me, woods all around me. I can go and find a portal in nature and change my whole mood around and turn the yuckies into joy and hope again. And we can do that also, yes. So it's always be nature. All right. Anything else? That's it. Let's do some divination cards. So first, what am I sure thing? I just want to see what you guys have to say for a second. Thank you. It's an aloha shirt. It's a little crooked right now. You can't see my necklace. Nature, yeah. Amen to nature. Nature's everything. Pity firing. It send the firemen a lot of love. Just like we were sending the nurses and doctors during the COVID crisis a lot of love. I know, I hear you, Jody. I just came in walking the dog. Good for you, Colleen. And we have several people from down under the comments. So winter in the southern hemisphere, yards away from last summer's wildfire, also inside a cloud, but made of humidity and fog this time around. Certainly that. And you're sorry about your eyes and throat burning. At least I can talk again. I was like, oh my God. I can barely talk. Yeah, all right. I hear you guys. Comment. It was immediately deleted. Hopefully it wasn't deleted from here. All right. You guys have brought out a lot of good comments here that I've been missing. All right. Losing patience with people. Yeah. Don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you for reminding us of that. Because I always manage to forget. And the idea is to get this out to as many people. You're saying, do you think you can do mediumship tonight, or are you having another live soon with mediumship? Next live with mediumship is going to be around August the 1st. So I do that 8 times a year. And I've been doing mediumship all day. I absolutely cannot do that now. And I want to keep things, in order. So I have these sacred geometry cards that I love. So I'm going to ask Spirit to guide my hand to give us the best frequency to work on this month. It's July in just a few hours. It's July in 3 hours and 15 minutes here on the East Coast. All right. I can actually fan these cards out. Problem is my hands get so darn dry that there's no friction. All right. I think Spirit can still find the right card. This is the one. This one right here. Passion. We've gotten that before. Very solar. See, how's autofocus doing? Somebody was saying, the problem with autofocus, sometimes it wants to focus on my hand rather than the card. There we go. So the idea with this is to just kind of absorb this frequency. And I don't know what minutes we're at. We're at 43:45 right now. So you can go back to the video and replay this part of it and just gaze in the middle and just absorb that energy. And that's the frequency to work with. And what it says about this is the frequency of passion reminds us that beneath every intense emotion lies the hidden gem of insight, balance, and calm. It assists us in finding the balance within this intensity, moving us from chaos to the calm of its core, where we can let its long-lasting wisdom fill up. So there's a line that got my attention, and I can't remember. It's just in finding the balance within us, yes. So that's the frequency. So, we need passion. The forces that be want to drain that out of us. Our passion is part of our spirit. It's our drive. It's part of our belief. Like there can be positive and negative passions, of course, but it's part of what makes us human and what makes us spiritual beings in human bodies. So yeah. So there's that. So let's be passionate about our beliefs, helping one another, helping to create community. I didn't write this down, but it's just coming to be another prediction or an energy forecast, as it were, is that whole thing about communities and networking between different communities and different spiritual communities getting together. That can happen on YouTube and other social media. But let's keep the doors open. And I thank you guys for sharing with me other creators on YouTube that are doing similar things. I will reach out to some of them if they're aligned to our energy here. So that's the idea. We want to expand and grow and not compete. So that's the main thing. They want us to compete, but we don't want that. So I have Kyle Gray's deck, Angels and Ancestors, here also. So that'll be Divination card number 2 or mission number 2. Okay, thank you. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Well, all right, we'll do the best we can. That's funny. I'm kind of seeing an image of Uncle Sam in my mind. Well, 4th of July is coming up. Okay, what about the 4th of July? Probably lots of demonstrations. East Coast, maybe Boston or Providence. I just feel like there may be something weird with the fireworks or something going wrong in a fireworks display. Of course, anytime anything goes wrong, it's just we're so wired to think who's behind it. What conspiracy is leading to this act? Is it an accident or is it not? Usually it's not. So there's a good reason for that. All right. So I need to clear my mind, ask Spirit to guide me, hand to the right card. I found it. This one here. Druid, hold the space. So to me, when I see druids, I also see trees because there's a lot of tree medicine and tree magic with the druids, and there is a lot of green. Let me see what's he doing. He's holding a staff that has feathers. There's a crystal pointing upwards. Hold the space. Okay, I got the message here. It just came to me. So they want us to do also this month, not only hold space, but to become energy conduits, to help to feed cosmic energy through our beings, because we are portals in our own right. So each one of us is a portal to higher dimension and higher consciousness. And Spirit can use our energy fields in order to transmit energy through our energy fields and into the earth to help to nourish the earth. So if I feel like what they're saying with this card is to, I'll bring it a little closer to you guys, is to again, you can do this in your living room, but if you can go out to nature, it's even more powerful. And just imagine like you're like a tree or a conduit and just set the intention, and with your breathing, just feel cosmic energy, maybe even from the central sun or from the universe or whatever, just kind of coming through you and activating through your system, because we are natural activators also. And, as a lot of I do energy channeling, frequency channeling with the master teachers. And certainly like any other talent or gift, some are going to have more acumen than others, but anybody can do this because we're naturally equipped to be able to do this as spirits having human experiences. So the idea is just, I feel like the same, visualize like lightning strikes that's a constant like energy. It may not be lightning shaped. It may be more like Taurus or double helix shape, but just visualize this light coming through you and coming down through your chakra system into your Earth Star chakra, which is below your feet in the ground, and going into the earth and channeling energy through the earth that way to help the earth to heal, to help the earth to be able to withstand all that's happening, and also to be able to communicate with the earth and what messages is the earth giving you. So as you do this, just feel like energy coming down. You can do it right now. Just feel the flows of energy coming down through you, through your center line, through your chakras, lighting up your chakras, going into the earth like a lightning bolt, and energizing and feeding the earth with positive energy. And the trees do this. Some of the trees have more of an upward, where they're sending excess energy from the earth back to the cosmos. Some trees act as a conduit for the cosmos to send energy to the earth, and some do both. One day I was working with the trees, and they told me that, and they told me to please be like the trees and to help them because of the deforestation. It's stressing the whole system because the trees are a system. They're not. They're beings unto themselves, but they're part of a whole system, a whole network. And if you start to chop the trees down, it compromises that network. And we can start to pick up on that slack by acting as energy conduits ourselves. So anyway, that's that. And the last one I have is the Divine Abundance card. So what is Spirit saying about hello from Germany, blindly inspired. Yes, it's late there. Go to bed. You catch us in the morning. Thank you. All right. So it's like kind of like becoming a mobile hotspot. Yeah, that's one way you can look at it. Yeah. Happy birthday to your daughter. Yes, yes, yes. Happy birthday, Samantha. You can take that as a personal message to you with Uncle Sam. This is the card. All right, I'm licking my fingers. I know that's gross. Grounded. So we were just kind of talking about this. So here's the card, around that. Looks like a little, is that a dog or a goat? A dog goat. Many of the most evolved beings on earth are regular folks living with joy, dignity, and courage. Ain't that the truth? Many of our high spiritual teachers are people amongst us that teach one-on-one. It's like your cab driver sees that you had a bad day, knows what's going on, and gives you just the right words of encouragement to help you through a crisis. And it turned out that cab driver was just an ascended master taking on that form. So yeah. Hey, from a medium rare. Thank you, Casey the poet. And grounding, yes. So we were talking about that. So being grounded. So this is the key to, I don't want to say surviving, but withstanding all the craziness from the elevation of frequencies that's naturally happening, from spirit activating us, and from our awakenings and we being activated by spirit, to all the pressures of society. Ground, so be grounded in the earth and be open at the heart. Again, the heart is the portal to the soul, to the indwelling soul. It's the eye of the storm. So when we're in our heart, well, guess what? When a heart is coherent, that means a heart is in pure love, pure compassion, pure gratitude, pure joy. Hearts cannot be programmed by society. Hearts don't have a subconscious to program. The mind does. But the thing is, when you become coherent of heart, then you become coherent of mind also, vibrationally coherent. So when the heart and the mind are linked, guess what? The subconscious mind becomes resistant to that programming also. And it's almost 9 o'clock. I think that's my note to end. So for those of you that missed this, you can go back to the beginning and catch the whole thing. Sunday at 7 p.m., we're going to do some very powerful frequency channeling with the master teachers to assist us in all these things that we were talking about, to help us to expand, to help us to raise our frequencies, and to help us to take advantage of these portals of awakening so that we can accelerate our awakening safely. Thank you so much, Susan. Thank you, everybody else that's here. Hello from South Florida. Thank you, Yvonne. Signing off for now. I love you all.